Today on Uncommonly Good MTG, we're playing Selesnya 64, which means we're playing with green and white cards. And according to AetherHub, it has a 64% chance of winning. It's an interesting mix of cards, interesting way of playing. If that sounds good to you, then stay tuned to find out more. Hello and welcome to Uncommonly Good MTG. I am your host, recently held in contempt of court for being too awesome, Dr. You Can't Suck It. Yes, thank you. Film before a live studio audience. Thank you so much. You Can't Suck It. Word to your mama. So I'm broadcasting to you today from my secret underground headquarters, and I'm bringing to deck I found over on the AetherHub, posted what I believe is by the MTG something assistant, metagame assistant. It doesn't have it listed for some weird reason, but it's where it was always posted that way. And according to the list, it had a 64% win rate chance, which is always a good number. So when I took a look at the cards in here, it was interesting. I hadn't seen these cards being played before. I mean, see the Steed getting played in a bunch of different decks, and it is pretty cool. And we got the Shelter by Ghost and Shield and Shardmage Rescue. But the rest of the stuff is interesting. I haven't seen this guy in any decks before being played, and there's a bunch of other interesting, weird stuff in here. The big card that I always think is weird is Melira, because she's totally anti-poison counters. There's poison counter decks out there. I don't know why I'd build a deck against it. This is the kind of thing you put in a sideboard, yet she's being main boarded right here. Maybe it's because you can choose to keep one of your creatures, alive if you feel like it. It returns it back to the battlefield under your control. Maybe. I'm not sure who exactly I'd even want to keep alive that way, but you can. I mean, I could keep Wilt-Leaf Liege or something. Anyway, so it's a bunch of weird, interesting looking cards. It's a weird build. So let's get to it. All right, so what we're going to do is take a look at the cards in this deck. We'll talk a little bit how the deck should work, and then we'll go out and we'll crush some hopes and dreams. What do we got here today? It flashes out to give something hexproof, which will keep it alive. Gets it Popo after that, +1/+1. This guy, if an instant or sorcery, will be put into a graveyard from anywhere you exile it, so whatever. It's a 2/1 for 1. That's good. And just makes it so they can't fetch back instants or sorceries from their graveyard. Sure. Sheltered by Ghosts. The big thing about this card, what we're really looking for, is that every creature should be green and white. That's what's important, right? And we'll find out why later. Sheltered by the Ghost is control. Plus, it gives because it basically gets rid of a target non-land permanent, and gives your guy +1/+0, and gives your guy lifelink, and gives your guy ward 2. So yeah, that is probably the best card out of Duskmourn. This gives all your creatures +1/+1, so there's a glorious anthem right there. Melira she's in here probably because she's green and white, so she'll get all the pumps that come from that. Other than that, she also helps to keep things alive potentially. Seraphic Steed is green and white and has first strike and lifelink, and can put out angel babies, which is always nice. What else we got here? Keen Darien gives all your creatures +1/+1. So we got more Popos being plastered around, and is green and white, and can put another Popo counter on itself, as well putting out a white soldier token. You could sacrifice it to keep your tokens alive. We don't have that many tokens, but with tokens we do have, Keen Darien will sacrifice themselves to keep alive. So good for him. He's a nice guy. What's this? Trostani, the 3 Whisperers. Can give one of your creatures Death Touch or Vigilance or Double Strike, whatever you got the mana for, right? And that can be really cool. It's a 4/4. That's important because Seraphic Steed here, you can saddle onto a 4. You can also take 2 other creatures and put them together to equal 4. But yeah, if you can get off this one for 3, then you could use it to jump onto the Steed's back to start putting out angel babies, which is nice. This one pins down non-land permanents. What does Ajani do? Looking for creatures and planeswalkers. You can put straight in your hand. Otherwise, you put it on the bottom of your library. Or you could distribute 3 Popo counters and give things vigilant. Or you could put out an emblem that says whenever you cast a creature or planeswalker spell, opponent gets 2 poison counters, which is weird. It's like, what is Ajani doing with poison? But it's the completed version, which means he's half Phyrexian here, and you just don't know it. He doesn't look like it. He's hiding it from people. All right, so anyways, there you go. This guy's pretty cool. It works well enough with this deck, I guess. And lastly, we got the Wilt-Leaf Liege. We put it out. He's green and white. And it says all other green creatures get +1/+1. So they all get +1. All other white creatures get +1/+1. So they get an additional +1/+1. And it says if they try to make you discard it, you can just put it straight on the battlefield instead. So in your face, mono black discard. This guy's just coming out on whatever turn. Turn 1, turn 2. He's coming out. He's a 4/4, pumping everything else up. So if this guy comes out, suddenly your steed becomes a 4/4. She becomes a 5/5. You become, what is that, a 4/3? Yeah, Wilt-Leaf Liege just pumps everybody by +2/+2 because everybody else in this deck is a green and a white. Yeah, big time. I guess who else is green and white, isn't it? Yeah, the Holy Llama there. That's who it is. And then it pumps things up as well. So this is like a nice green deck as far as pumping all your creatures up. And it's also a nice white deck as far as it's got First Strike and Lifelink and pinning things down and keeping things safe. Yeah, so it has a nice combination of both. Plus with all that dual color stuff going on, yeah, the Wilt-Leaf Liege is able to make everything super pumped. All right, so what are we going to do? We're going to get our guys out. We're going to try to control the board a little bit with the control that we have. Just keep coming at people. Try to get some angel babies out. And hopefully got enough super muscle to finish things off. All right, so before we go on and do our damage, let's do as we do every night. Let's say our prayers and talk about what is best in life. Hands together. Dear Black Queen Toxrill, who dwells within the dark chambers of my heart, please hear my prayers and grant your blessings as we attempt to crush our enemies, see them driven before us, and to hear lamentations of the women. All right, playing against Anthony, MM2. Keep. Well, I really want to shelter my ghosts, apparently. Can't keep that guy alive because I totally need it. Nope. I mean, yeah, I can keep him alive, which is great. And no attacks. Still, I can't block it all. For leaders call. You're gone. All right, let's go get myself some more life. Kitty cat, you are being kind of annoying. Night night. That's the last of our ability to grab stuff, I'll tell you that. We definitely can't shoot it. We just need to do is stay behind. We got a lot of life gain for a second. And this can keep, you know, tokens. That's not a token. We'll just do this then. All right, I'm up to 22. You're at 7. What you gotta do is start playing defense, and you do not want to play defense. What do I got back here? Just a bunch of cool stuff that you want, so unfortunately the Militant's gonna have to chill. That's it. Just leave 3 guys behind. All right, so there we go. You can go ahead. You can kill 5. You guys put 5 guys in front of it. You're not going to like it. 1, 2. Really? Why would you just do 2? Oh, because you got something in your hand. That's how you're going to do it, huh? All right, Seraphic Steed. Whatever, we'll put that out. Nope. All right, so we're going to lose the Steed, but we're going to get a Flyer, and that's pretty darn cool. This guy needed that World Leader's Call like crazy, like a few turns ago. Oh, who are we going to steal? War Leader's Call. That's who we're going to steal. Gotta get ourselves that baby. I think there's nothing you can do. You can chump. That's about it. All right, but I got a baby out of the deal. You're not going to like that. Uh-huh. Go for it. Since he's got 10, 14. He's choking it back. I could just win right now. Here we go. Double strike. Boom, boom. Winner, winner. Victory dinner. All right, we're playing against Sefar. Something to that effect. All right, keep. Nothing to do for 1. Anthem of the Champions, my friends. We'll keep on fighting till the end. What's this guy doing? Destroy artifact or enchantment. All right, I can get this guy all beefed up. But not King Darien. Let's just do that. He's just going to let it through. Not going to like it, but he's going to have to take it. Because if I got to take something out with Shelter by Ghost, unfortunately, it's got to be the fungus among us right now. Which feels kind of like a waste. But I'm going to have to do it before I can put out other guys here. That makes you feel better. All right, we grabbed it before we could do any damage. That's pretty good. And I'm going to send him in. Wait, cancel. Next to combat. Once your guy back, go right ahead. Sacrifice every other guy. I could have sacrificed King Dorian and give it indestructible. Coulda. Of course, I don't get any tokens for that now. I'm surprised what he's willing to sacrifice here. His cards have so much more value than mine do. All right, he could block with two guys. I guess he's willing to sacrifice as much as I am. Unfortunately, I don't think that Hydra is going to get us what we need. He's going to go crazy here pretty quick. You look at two cards. Maybe he doesn't have the lands that he needs since he's got a land in his hand right now. Yeah, he does. All right, we're down to 7. Everything he has is got vigilance, apparently. That's not great. We're going to lose one guy. All right, we got 15. He's got 13 he's posting right now. We got 8 looking at him. We can pump it up to 10. So as long as we don't die this turn, but he's going to... Let's see what happens here. That dude wants to land badly. All right, I'm down to 5. That's 10. Let's rescue it. Rescue! And we win! Trixie deck for the win. Victory! All right, playing against EternalDipshit. I'm actually quite surprised he got away with that. Lots of things having to be tapped. Nothing to do for one. Keep. Do this first. I can go looking for more mana that might be faster. I suggest you put a land down. That might be a good thing to do. They play a game saying, can I get all the eyeballs to be closed at one time? Mine looks like we're putting the guy out. And pretty much with the mono red decks, you have to take out their dudes. I wonder if he's playing goblins, though. Goblins are so cool. Looks like it's goblins, baby. He'd rather just... I was just going to sacrifice it. You didn't have to do all that. Did I put down the wrong one? Certainly did. Oh, I already put it down last turn. I was guaranteed a slow one this turn. Never mind. That's a lot of goblins. Alright, so I could kill one of his guys. Hopefully he won't just lightning bolt it or something. Alright, oh... Yeah, I'll steal that guy. You can sacrifice it if you like. I don't care. See, with the red, they always want to come at me, so this might have been a mistake. I might have wanted to just sit there and defend it, but the lifelink is so good. That's probably the best course of action when you got lifelink. I can start stealing more of his guys. He's going to hate it. I can steal that on the next turn. That's cool. That's like 12 right there, huh? Need to give it up, yo? He did it. You can't go after my guy. You got to go after me. That's all you could do. Yeah, you shoot your own guy. That's what you should do. Shoot that guy right there. All right, number one. Absolutely. Steal that. We got 3 mana left. Let's go get some more life. That'll do it. That puts me up to 13. Yeah. All right, what does he have in his hand? Well, he's only got 1 card to help him out. I don't know what he's got going on. He just wants to do that 2 points of damage to me. All right, well, that's good for him. You can do the sacrifice. Get rid of my poor king if you want to do that. What does that require? Yep, you could do it. There you go. Oh, I don't have the mana. Dang it. All right, well, we'll have to take it. This looks nice and slow. All right, so I have the ability to keep my thing alive. Do I have a plains? No, I don't. That's only... I can't do crap. I'll tell you, the life gain I got is not good for you. And we win. Suck it, goblins. I feel so bad for you, baby, but suck it. All right, we're playing against Jonks. Two, three, three. All right. All right, Beastie, you should be quiet. One. I got a lot of King Darians here. Two. No way of keeping her alive. Just wipe the board. That's not cool. Three. That's what he's just planning on doing from now on, huh? And another one. You waste another board wipe? All right, let's go. All right, let's see. Let's just... All right, Dryad Militant's looking good. Now, if we get out the Wilt-Leaf Liege, that Dryad Militant is going to be, and King Darien is going to be totally swole. That's losing time. Mana! There we go. Let's go big. All right, he's down to 6. All my guys are pretty awesome. I can afford to lose 1. Hopefully the Dryad Militant. Yeah, I've been right in the bone as far as my mana capacity. And we win! Writing was on the wall. Victory! I have been against Erik. Erik. Alright, great. Tons of mana. Relatively cheap creature. Alright, we'll go for it. Let's go shake our bushy tail. As one does. You play anything green? I wish I could put... What I need to do is get one of those guys that's got 4 power, like that guy. And this one comes out. This guy out. Saddle up, cowboy. That's exactly what I need to see. So we need to get out some angels, some angeles. Angeles. Look at the crown on that thing. All right, baby, you stay back. You're fine. And let's go ahead and get out Melira while we're at it. All right, there we go. I could have pinned her down is what I could have done. All right, we got a wall of muscle here. One. Come on, we can do it. Yeah, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom, 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 boom goes the room. Victory. All right, we're playing against LightStyle. LightStyle. Ooh, this is probably a bad decision because I can't even put a guy out until 4. Hopefully we'll draw something between here and there. Nothing to do. At least we got the mana, but we get a guy out and then what? He just gets pinned down or something? At least we keep this thing alive. I didn't like that hesitation. Is that literally called a squirrel card? No. Oh, you get a token if that's the deal. All right. You got 2 mana. All right, I'm going to try. If this gets countered, I'm going to be space pissed. Oh, dang it. Everything about that just went horribly wrong. All right, let's try this again. Pop, saddle up. There we go. All attack, get our guy. That's what needs to be happening around here. I don't have any means of keeping things around. You can try bouncing again. You didn't like the baby, huh? That's fine. I mean, I'll be able to prevent one guy from getting tapped. There we go. There's a big boy. Beloved by all. All right, we got huge dudes out. Huge guys. Lots of life. He wants that Eddie Merc. Let's go eat ourselves an otter. All right, we're down to 12. Okay, we can protect one of the guys. Who's it going to be? Who are you going to pin down? And we win! Suck it, sucker fish. Suck it. All right, so we are with Selesnya 64. Yeah, it was a pretty good deck. There were times this deck was extraordinary. It was incredibly good. We did have a little bit of control. The ability of this thing to just go nuts was really, really great. So, but the big problem with this deck is that, you have a maximum of 4 mana that you have to pay. That's it, 4 mana. It had a hard time getting there. So it seemed, and maybe if it was like, oh yeah, okay, I got it. But the thing is though, is that I had a lot of things I had to pay for because this thing is not showing aggro level of creatures. I end up picking up a ton of these things like all the time, and my 1s and 2s, never to be found. Never to be found. I don't know why that was. We had a good collection of really low-end creatures. The Steed came out a bunch, but like the Dryad Militant, only 50% of the time. Barely ever saw Melira. But these guys, oh, constantly. So, yeah, I had a hard time because this deck was expensive to play. That was probably the hardest thing about this deck. All right, so let's get down to it. Let's see, who was the MVP? I can tell you it was. It was the Wilt-Leaf Liege. This guy was Insanosaurus Rex. The thing I liked about him the best is it said, if a spell or ability causes this thing to be discarded, then you get to put it into the battlefield in sec. And I got to tell you, there were a couple of games where I got 2 of these guys out with one time. They put out that, whatever it was, the talent or something that forces the 2 discard. You have to discard 2 cards. I was able to throw out both Wilt-Leaf Lieges on turn like 3, something like that. It was insanely good. Plus, then it gives each of your creatures a popo for whether they're green and white. And all of my dudes are green and white. So that means they all get +2/+2. They pump each other up. This guy was just a madman in today's meta. So I'm going to give it to the Wilt-Leaf Liege. You by far were the MVP of this particular deck. Congratulations. All right, was this deck competitive? I can tell you that according to AetherHub, this is a 64% win rate deck. It had, 20 wins and 11 losses. I did not get nearly that good. I've got 52%. So maybe it's just me. I don't know. It felt almost like a 50-50 deck. My problem is that sometimes it took a long time for this deck to come to fruition. It was more like a mid-range kind of thing. And so it was uneven. And when the deck came out as an early curve, it was so good. When I got some removal at the right times, yeah, it was fantastic. But the removal was not consistent. Early cards only came in like half the games. The other half, you were top-loaded and you're playing against aggro. So what could you do? So that's the thing is, I don't think this deck is balanced well enough to be a really competitive deck. But when it does go off, and it comes off 50% of the time, it goes like a madman. So it's got such incredible power. It just isn't consistently there, especially against aggro decks. All right, so there you go. I'm going to say, yeah, it had the potential to be competitive. The other decks said it was good, but I'm not going to give it full marks for competitiveness. Was this deck fun? Yes, it was fun. I appreciated the way it worked. except for when it was off balance. That off balancedness was hard because you just wanted to do some great stuff, and maybe you get 1 or 2 cards out and then the game would be over. But most of the time, this deck curved nicely. It did a nice mid-rangey kind of thing, in which case then, yeah, it worked great. It worked really, really good. So like 50% of the time, this deck worked 100% of the time. Lastly, was this deck interesting? Yeah, it totally was. It was interesting seeing it. I just know like sometimes I'm like, I just put a guy out that gives a guy +1/+1. And I was like, wait, it's got +2/+2. How is that happening? Wilt-Leaf Liege gives it to everybody with white, which they all do, and green, which they all do. So therefore, yeah, the pumps on this thing was just incredibly good. Between the Liege and Darien and the Anthem of Champions, plus Shardmage's Rescue and the Shelter by Ghosts, you're pumping people up really well. So it was like a good green deck. And with the white, we were able to do a little bit of control. Yeah, it was really, really well done. The Trostani, with being able to give people double strike or potentially vigilance or death touch, really good. I think Trostani won at least one game for me. So yeah, it was a really interesting deck. I haven't seen anything like it before. I guess it was kind of like a green pump, but with the white in it, it really worked out well. So if anything, I'd say this card was more interesting than anything else. All right, so let's add that up. What we got? Was it competitive? It was enough, but not nearly enough. Was this deck fun? At times it could be incredibly fun, but sometimes it kind of sucked. And lastly, was it interesting? Totes. All right, so I'm going to give this deck an A-. It was definitely worth playing. Sometimes it was fantastic, but I think it still needs a little bit of work before it's great. All right, so that's an A- deck. And if you decide to play with this deck, I hope that you have as much fun playing with it as I did. That's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. From all of us here in the secret underground headquarters of Uncommonly Good MTG, have a great day. In the words of my people, screw you guys, I'm going home. Bye.